How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal in this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading with the prices going up or down. KuCoin crypto exchange to introduce mandatory KYC in July. So KuCoin is implementing a KYC that will go into effect July 15th, 2023, and without completing this, newly registered people will not be able to access any of their products or services. And existing members, if you don't do the KYC, you won't be able to add new funds, but you will be able to withdraw your funds. The KuCoin KYC does not apply to US-based citizens, so we still will not be able to use KuCoin with KYC, and this may break us from even using it at all. Three Arrows Capital liquidators demand $1.3 billion from bankrupt VC funds co-founders. Rightfully so. I don't think they should be touching any money. Tenno, the court-appointed liquidators of bankrupt venture Three Arrow Capital, is claiming $1.3 billion from its co-founders Su Zhu and Kyle Davies. They sought the amount of the founders to cover losses incurred in the last couple of months before the funds collapsed in July 2022 after it took on significant leverage, which was attributed to their crash. Warner Music Polygon Labs launched Blockchain Music Accelerator. So, good partnership here. Warner Music controls a lot of the music that you listen to through any kind of app or anywhere. They seek to bolster the decentralized music-related apps and projects built on the Polygon networks. Some examples of the top priorities for this project include companies attempting to create new mechanisms for decentralized distribution of music, those focused on fostering artist-fan communities, so a community where you give back to your fans, and those building on-chain ticketing solutions, as well as those exploring music-related collectible merchandise. And kind of to cycle back to this arts fan community, kind of working on our Discord to help make it something that'll give value to the people that join before it goes live. Judge rejects Sam Bankman-Fried's bid to dismiss criminal charges over FTX. About 11 of the 13 charges Sam Bankman-Fried wanted dismissed from the case are still in play. Judge Kaplan said that he still has to account for these. This decision now paved the way for an October 2nd trial against him, and he basically was trying to say that the right of control did apply to him, and he was trying to basically say that he wasn't trying to steal anyone's money, so people should have been able to just take their money, and that's the right of control. But the part he forgets is, in the right of control, you're not supposed to leave out economical information like you're insolvent or taking money from a second company to fuel you. Over on the daily for our total, we are starting to fall away pretty violently, so we have a reversal arrow from yesterday that's starting to play out. Stochastic is pushing away, RSI is pushing away, momentum's coming down with a red dot. VWAP has broken into bearish territory, and money flow is still coming away from that neutral line. So not looking the strongest here. Ignore that other money flow, it'll just get too complicated. If you're interested in that, that's also something coming for the Discord that'll be involved. But our stochastic for our Bitcoin dominance is starting to fall. Bitcoin dominance is still continuing up. Our RSI is struggling to go anywhere. Our money flow is starting to round out. Our money flow over on the daily for Bitcoin dominance, our stochastic is falling down, RSI is trying to go up, momentum is starting to come down, our money flow is trying to get past this 18 level. We'll have to see if it can break through or not. It's been a pretty hard point. We got rejected twice from it. Our VWAP is kind of flattening out here, so that is hopeful for the momentum to try and push forward. And our stochastic wants to get a bullish cross, so if the stochastic gets a bullish cross, that could help push the RSI. Doesn't really have much more, but it could keep us maxed out, and that could help like the weekly or other higher time frames. Weekly is pretty maxed out too. Monthly is pretty topped out. So overall for the Bitcoin futures, stochastic is starting to fall, RSI is starting to fall. We did get a red candle. We are opening with a green candle, but not very strong. Momentum's starting to round out. We have a red dot that could print tomorrow. So in tomorrow night's video, we'll have to see if this confirms or not. Our money flow is rejecting away. VWAP is getting very close to that neutral. It's just barely riding above it. So if that VWAP doesn't break to the bearish side, we could see a green dot invalidate this red dot, and we could see a curl up, but we're gonna have to keep our eyes on it. Over on the daily for Bitcoin here, we are getting a little bit of a drop, nothing too bad. Stochastic is pushing away, RSI is pushing away, momentum is starting to fall. RSI has a red dot on us, so that's suggesting we could see further downside. Our money flow is getting really close to breaking bearish here on the daily, so we're not very strong in the bullish zone. We did reject this support resistance area, so now it is currently resistance. So unless we can get like a bullish engulfing candle, we may start to come back down toward this point control area, or at least make a bounce around this 28.4 under this value area high for our volume profile, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. Over on the 4 hour, we are overall inching our way down. Could be a descending wedge. More of a down channel. So, down channel would be good for us though, because a down channel is a bullish pattern that could break you up. Kind of a wedge, kind of a down channel. I'd play more of it as a down channel and keep your eyes hopeful for it to be a wedge. Our stochastic overall is falling down. Money flow is just riding around. Kind of can't see the stochastic in it, but our stochastic is falling down, just riding around this 15 level, so we are still in the bearish territory for the stochastic, so the RSI doesn't have much strength. Our VWAP is trying to push higher. Momentum is coming down into this bearish territory pretty strongly, so we could see some further downside if we don't see that VWAP start to curl up and give this momentum a green dot. Over on the 2 hour, our RSI is overall losing strength. Stochastic is pretty much oversold as it can be, not very strong. Money flow has broken into the bearish zone. It is trying to flip back bullish, but the bears are suppressing us. So if we start to see the money flow wane away, we could be set up for further downside, as that would lead into the 4 hour and daily. Our VWAP wants to break through the neutral here, and our momentum wants to curl up. So if we do get that VWAP cross with a green dot on our momentum, that could help push us forward. Our stochastic's also trying to make a bullish cross, so those might try to push our money flow up as long as the lower time frames permit. Over on the 1 hour, we're just riding above the neutral, so kind of the opposite of the 2 hour, so we're not quite bullish or bearish really. We have very weak money flow on these lower time frames, kind of in discovery mode. Stochastic is trying to make a bounce here on the 1 hour just off that neutral line, so that is good for us. We want to make a bullish cross. RSI looks like it could head up. Momentum's trying to get higher lows with price making lower lows, so there's a slight bullish divergence we could have. So that might try to help us push higher as well. Over on graph for the daily, we are pushing down through the support range. We have a manipulation X, so keep your eyes on this, especially since everything else is looking a little iffy. A lot of money could be leaving our altcoins into Bitcoin, as a lot of people are hopeful about the Bitcoin ETFs, but those could take some time. Like I said before, the earliest one is going to be around August 13th. Stochastic is falling, RSI is falling, momentum's falling with a red dot that confirmed yesterday. VWAP is falling pretty strongly, so our momentum's probably going to continue to fall strongly if the VWAP doesn't recover. Money flow can't get past this like 7 zone, so it's struggling to get up above that, so we could see further downside as it's coming down again. Over at the 4 hour, our RSI is overall losing strength. Stochastic's overall losing strength. It wants to get a little bit of a push up. Our VWAP, it can't make it over that neutral line, so our VWAP is staying in the bearish territory. That's why our momentum wave looks so choppy. Our momentum wave could get a green dot, but it's going to be dependent on if that VWAP can actually cross through or not. That stochastic looks a little iffy. It wanted to come back down for a bearish cross, but it is trying to lug forward, so I keep your eyes on it. Over on the 2 hour, our RSI is overall losing strength. Stochastic's making lower highs. We have a bullish cross that could happen and try and push us up, but we're not looking the strongest here. Money flows coming down toward the neutral line still. We did make a bounce off it. VWAP is trying to go bullish after being in the bearish territory for a little while. That gave us a red dot in our momentum, and we're following with a green dot that could help push us forward, but watch out if that VWAP just rolls over. Over on the 1 hour, Stochastic's trying to make a bullish cross. RSI is trying to head up. So we have those going for us, trying to push us higher. We'll have to see if we can break this support zone. If we can, and flip into our resistance zone and flip into support, that would be good for us. However, if we start to lose strength here, it would be a resistance and we might start to see lower prices. Don't know why I keep doing that today. Our lower price area could be this previous channel around the 9-8 cent zone, I believe. Yeah, about 9-8 cent. So just keep an eye on that, as we are pretty much on the top of it. Money flow is coming out, riding above that neutral, so just watch out if the money flow breaks bearish. VWAP's just barely in the bullish territory. It looks like it could start to roll over. Our momentum has a bullish divergence that wants to push us up. We have this double green dot here that wants to help push us higher, but if that VWAP rolls back over, that's not likely to happen, and we could see further downside. Over for anchor on the daily, we are rejecting the value area low on our volume profile. Stochastic is coming down, RSI is coming down, our momentum is coming down, our VWAP is crashing down, so our momentum has no strength. Our money flow is rejecting away from that neutral, so we're overall not the best right here. We are kind of in a resistance area, so if we do make a bounce here, that would be good. However, if we see another red candle, we could retest these lows around this 119 area. So just bear that in mind. Over on the 4 hours, the RSI is overall losing strength. Stochastic's pretty beat down. Our VWAP can't manage to get over the neutral, so we'll have to see if it can manage this time. If it just kind of gets a little baby peak and rolls back over again, we could be in for more downside, just like back here. Our momentum wave is coming down, but it looks like it's going to curl up and need a little bit of a breather, as it's pretty much as oversold as it can be right now. Over on the 2 hour, our RSI is overall sliding pretty strongly. Stochastic's overall falling. We are trying to make a bounce here, so that does look a little promising. Our VWAP is crossing above that neutral zone, and our money flow wants to come up. So we look alright currently. Momentum's getting a double green dot that could help push us higher. That's going to be dependent on if that VWAP rolls over or not. Like you see right here, we got that double green dot, VWAP rolled over, got a red dot after. So keep your eyes on that. Money flow is pretty well into the bearish territory here, so if it doesn't push into the bullish territory, we could see further downside, as this could leach into our medium to higher time frame. Over on the 1 hour, our Stochastic's trying to pump higher, RSI is trying to push higher but not really making any higher highs, and price is making lower lows. Our VWAP is trying to push higher. Our money flow wants to get higher, but we're overall struggling to press above the 7 or 8 area. Our momentum has a double green dot and wants to curl up, but like I said on everything else, watch that VWAP and see if it rolls over or not, as that VWAP is coming to a resistance area. Over on XRP for the daily, we are starting to kind of push away, so we might have that double top, kind of very sloppy, back in play. Our momentum is coming down, Stochastic is starting to come down, RSI is starting to fall, money flows overall starting to round out, VWAP is rejecting away from the neutral, so overall we're pretty bearish looking and don't have very much strength right now. The one guy on Reddit said it's all his fault because he bought quite a bit. That's just a joke. A lot of people feel that way. Don't get worried if you buy and you see your coin drop a little. You're never going to catch the absolute bottom. You're never going to catch the absolute top unless you get really lucky. Our Stochastic is trying to make a bullish cross and wants to head up. RSI wants to make a bounce because of that. So we'll have to see if that can actually turn into some bullish strength, as we're just bouncing off the neutral with RSI and the stochastic is under neutral. Money flow is struggling to get any bullish momentum. We are making a little bit of a bullish retest on the 4 hour. So if we flop over and see some red, we could see some downside. VWAP is starting to make lower lows and head down, but it wants to make a recovery. If it can break bullish, that would be good for our momentum, as we want to make a green dot and roll up. And our momentum's pretty beat down as it's just sliding away with the price. Over on the 2 hour, stochastic's trying to push higher. RSI is trying to push higher. Money flow is kind of starting to round out. We did make several bounces off the neutral, so that is good and bad at the same time. It's good in the sense that bullish momentum can continue, but it's bad in the sense that that support level is getting weaker. Our VWAP is breaking bullish, so we are trying to get some bullish momentum, so keep an eye on if that rolls over or not. We have a double green dot in our momentum, so that could help our momentum curl up, but like I've said before, if that VWAP starts to weaken, that will as well. Over on the 1 hour, our stochastic's trying to push higher, RSI is trying to push higher. Our money flow is making several bounces off that neutral line, but maintaining bullish momentum currently. Our VWAP looks like it's starting to round out, so that's not good for our momentum, as our momentum has a double green dot that wants to push us higher. But if that VWAP breaks bearish, we will likely see a red dot invalidate that and push us lower. And finally, on Algo, remember, if there's any other coins you want to see or anything, drop it in the comments. In Algo, we broke our channel, kind of like I warned about, so now we could retest these other areas, and these lows in this Fibonacci area could be in play, which those are some pretty brutal areas. Let's see, our next support zone is like 10 cents. And then I think there's one around... yeah, it goes negative after that, so after that area, we really don't have very much, as this is below all-time lows. Stochastic is pushing lower, RSI is starting to fall lower, momentum's starting to come lower, VWAP is pushing lower, money flow is coming out, away from the neutral, so overall we look pretty bearish, and we could have some more downside in store for us. Over on the 4 hour, our RSI is overall beat down. Momentum wants to make a double green dot, so that wants to curl up. Our VWAP is struggling to go bullish, so that's a little worrisome. Money flow did bounce off the neutral and is trying to head up, and our stochastic's trying to head up as well. So those are trying to push us higher, but if that VWAP starts to curl bearish, we could see other things start to go bearish as well. Over on the 2 hour, our stochastic is trying to make a decent push up. Our RSI is making a bounce off that 30. So we are trying to get a little bullish momentum here. We'll have to see if we can actually sustain it, or if we roll over and start to weaken even more. Our momentum has a bullish divergence that wants to push us higher, and our money flow wants to round up, but overall is pretty strong in the bearish territory, so I keep an eye on it. Our VWAP is struggling to get above that 7 zone, so if it starts to pull back here, we could see another red dot form. Thank you for watching. Oh, sorry, we have one more. Thought we were on 1 hour for a second. Sorry about that. Our stochastic is overall starting to curl off, so not looking the strongest here for that. RSI is trying to push higher, so we do have bullish momentum for our RSI, as the stochastic is in the bullish territory, even though it's starting to round. So we do have that working for us. But our RSI is making a decent bounce off this neutral zone, so that is good for the RSI as well. VWAP is trying to press higher, although it looks a little close to kind of round out. So keep your eyes on it. Our momentum is trying to push higher with a bullish divergence and a double green dot, but if that VWAP starts to weaken, that will weaken as well. So keep an eye on price. If we come back up, retest this resistance area, and we fall, then it'll be resistance. If we come back and get above it, it can flip to support if we retest it again and bounce off it. However, if that does not happen, we could make this area down around that 10 cent our support, or fall somewhere within this channel that we had, which did go below that zone to about, like, yeah, very low 10s. So yeah, about 10 even. So that would be about the next support area we'd have. Aside from that, we have no support, so just exercise your risk management properly. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.